This episode of Scab Talk is brought to you by Lethal Gaming Gear. And welcome back to Scab Talk, everyone. Today's episode, we'll be talking about the Tarkov TV cast that just finished approximately 10 minutes ago. So we're live, fresh off the Tarkov TV that came on Saturday evening, kind of unexpectedly.
Yep. It's they said basically yesterday that we're gonna do Talk of TV, and so that was it. Everyone rushed around. Me getting special dispensation from the wife to be online during the kids' dinner time and bath time or whatever. But Tarkov TV is a special one. It's certainly a special one. So I guess we'll jump right in. I mean, there's not actually been much else going on this week, so we'll just talk about
temperature. How are you feeling after the? So, me, just gonna be honest, I was just kind of underwhelmed. I don't really know what I expected, but they released a roadmap, which is cool. But even that was I don't know. I kind of hate that.
Yeah.
The hype around 1.0 is centered around we're gonna have a store, the game's gonna be complete, but we're not gonna tell you what that actually means. So it's really hard to put faith that this it's gonna be amazing. You just gotta believe, true believers.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I think the closer we get, the less they want to say because they want to keep it as a big special surprise. But that means they can't actually put anything on the roadmap, and it makes people a bit nervous. And I think there's this just ongoing nervousness as well. I mean, there definitely is for me, but this ongoing nervousness from people about how things are usually implemented by the Tarkov, by the BSG guys on their first attempt, and to push out 1.0 with the story and cutscenes and all this other stuff without testing it, which is how the whole rest of the game has gone, and their track record isn't insanely good, to put it very, very kindly. I think it's a bit concerning in that way. I think everybody wants it to be awesome, right? This is the thing. Everyone wants it to be awesome. It's not because people want to hate. It's because there's so much potential and everybody loves this game. That's the reason why people want it to go well. And no one wants to see them stumble at the last hurdle and create something that's really buggy. The thing doesn't work properly, whatever, which seems to be the way with a lot of these things. I sort of agree with you on the rest of the roadmap. Now, the roadmap's fine to have, but we don't really, there's nothing on here really. It's just his fixes. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's
there's nothing else.
Half of it's fixes, a lot of them are map optimizations, which we'll go over in detail, but the other half is Tarkov community reposts of things that they've confirmed on there. It's just okay, I guess it's great that you're putting a timeline if that wasn't already on there. I don't know. It's I'm trying to be reasonable and that it's great that they're doing optimization for these things, but for me as a gamer, this is just one big snooze. It's you didn't, I don't know. It was cool to see some of the more, some of the stuff that's minor content, new weapons and new animations, if that's your thing, or old animations getting updated. I don't know. I just feel it's they're setting themselves up to fail, because I feel 1.0 basically is going to be, okay guys, release the game. It's out on a couple of different platforms. Have at it. And all right, let's start working on that new game. He's mission accomplished. Finally got this thing shipped out. You know what I mean? It's where's their incentive to keep this going? Because it's it's a paid game. They've already made a crap ton of money from previous sales. I don't know. I just feel they're just it's gonna be done, and all right, well, Tarkov was cool, but it's fine. Things come and go. Don't get me wrong. I had a good time playing Tarkov, but I want more. I guess that's the what's the word? Silver lining is new game from Battlestate in the future, perhaps. So that will be the
that'll
be the thing for me.
I think that's the deal. this particular cycle, given we didn't know when 1.0 was coming. Now we know that 1.0 is coming this year. So that's the big thing. The release is this year at some point, and around the timing we don't know exactly when, but it's somewhere between August and December. Nikita's basically told us that we will find out the date for release in Q2. That's what his Q2 2025 thing was about.
Right.
So he will tell us when before the end of June, which is halfway through this roadmap. So we will know exactly when. Because the release date is so close, because it could realistically have been any time from August, December, middle of next year, like end of next year, right? It could feasibly have been the end of 2026. Because it's this year, that then puts a very short timing on these patches, which A means that they can't tell us what's coming because it's going to be 1.0, and B, the rest of the stuff basically has to be optimization, right? They can't be fiddling around with new mechanics, which is kind of the reason why. That's like the other half of it for me. It's just like, this roadmap is not the most exciting roadmap of all time. There's nothing in here that's going to change the game fundamentally. But as a lot of people have argued in the past, the game as it looks right now is what it's broadly going to look like at release. It's not going to change that much between now and release. Like what we have now is close to what we're going to see at 1.0, and this roadmap kind of confirms that. They've scaled back on doing anything new, any new mechanics or anything like this. All this unconscious state and all the other random stuff. Permadeath. I mean, maybe some of these things will end up coming in and they want to surprise us. Maybe there'll be permadeath areas. All this stuff that they've talked about in the past. Maybe some of those things will end up in there, but they can't tell us. It's not on the roadmap, so that nothing looks particularly game changing on the roadmap. It's all just visual improvement fixes, this fix, that fix, and the other fix, which is sort of what you want to be doing in the run up to the 1.0 point. But yeah, from a gamer's perspective, it's not necessarily the most interesting thing. There are things that are coming, and as we've seen, they posted a bunch of videos and stuff on their socials and whatnot. But yeah, the roadmap itself, I mean, just looking at the overall kind of layout of this, I'm still not sure, and we'll find out, in I guess in 2 months, because the end of June is like super soon. It's only in like 6 weeks' time, so we will know when the date is. It's feasible that they could go May patch, June patch, July patch, August patch, and then say September. That's it. We're releasing it, right? We're not doing. There's no other patch. It goes because the August patch is 16.9. Normally August would be a wipe. That's the only thing that makes me think that August might not be a wipe.
That's the other
thing. Or that
it
might not be a wipe in August. Is that 16.9 is the August patch on the roadmap? So they're either just going to leave it there. We have a full year without wipe, and then they release it in December, or they go, May, June, July, August, and then bam, we're going to release it in September. And then we're going to go on to some new wipe cycle based upon, the post 1.0 regime. We don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know what their plan is. We know they're going to release DLCs and stuff, but it's a bit unknown right now. So it could be either.
So let's dive into the roadmap. It's probably like top of the list in terms of priorities. So we got first patch 16.6 coming out in May 2025, and under here we have Lighthouse optimizations. Although they failed to mention Lighthouse rework, but I guess we can't all score perfect on our test.
It's too late. Honestly, it's too late. We're not getting it.
You might be right. Anyways, customs visuals improvements, cumulative fixes, AI behavior adjustments, balancing changes and improvements, shoreline audio improvements, fix to missing third-person sounds of armor and helmet impacts. I assume that's like when you drop gear, that they currently are missing sounds. I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
Or maybe actually. It sounds like they're like the guns one. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that's what they are referring to. And then lastly, an in-game event. And then under this section, they have Tarkov community bug notes that are going to be implementing in this patch as well, apparently. Highlighting expiring items on the insurance collection screen, auto restart for failed task, and ability to buy all items needed for craft recipes, activation of map transition by holding a keybind. So nice, like, little quality of life changes and fixes in the May patch there.
Yeah. So I mean, again, like they're not massive things, are they? Really? I mean, most of them it's mostly fixes and then some quality of life stuff, which is nice to see.
Of course.
Ability to buy all the items needed for the craft. I was musing while the cast was going on, just thinking, I hope it works like the weapons one. Like where you have the list of, you go to Mod Your Gun and you do the thing and it lists them all out with the price, and then you say yes, buy them, because if it's just you click it and it just buys, you can easily start to spoof that system, especially for some of the ones that have got like slightly more rare ingredients. People could just rip the whole market out from top to bottom and then start just posting items. You can corner the market, and then people are just auto buying stuff for their cases and things and just get completely screwed over, like 500k bolts and stuff. It's easily done. So at least it's got to show you the prices first. I hope that they'll do it in the same way. So that's good. I mean, the rest of it, the highlight expiring items on the insurance collection screen looks really cool. He had a little graphic for that, where each individual item's got a little timer if it's under a day. I mean, auto restart for failed tasks is incredible that it's on here, because that surely is the easiest thing of all time. It's amazing that that's made it onto the roadmap, but
I know anyways. Moving on, then we got patch 16.7 for June 2025. Reserve optimization, cumulative fixes, AI behavior adjustments, balancing changes and improvements, summer weather season, audio engine improvements, obstacle processing algorithm improvements for better audio occlusion performance. Then under that, of course, Tarkov community, warning before starting a raid when a task item in inventory, stash auto sort improvements, ability check in-game time in raid, reduce flashlight glare when wearing glasses, auto purchase of missing currency when buying items, task sorting improvements, highlight attachments available from traders when buying a weapon. It's really nice. I mean, that's a let's see, highlight attachments available from traders when building a weapon. I said buying when building a weapon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's. I can't remember. There was I'm thinking of the SPT mod that was I think it was mod. It was called mod for the traders or trader modding, and basically you could when you mod a weapon, you could select trader parts, which I guess is basically I hope that's the same thing, because that was such a nice quality of life feature. Yeah. If you only had
sounds like the same thing to me.
Trader level 2, yeah, then you would only see. I forget. I think you had to it was a specific drop down that would let you do that. But yeah, we'll see what they choose to implement. But yeah, I mean, kind of the same vibes, right?
Exactly. That's what I thought it would be, another checkbox, because there's there's checkboxes for traders only and or whatever it might be. Yeah, flea or players, whatever at the top. I thought it'd be another one, but actually having it highlighted is actually kind of nice.
Yeah,
highlighting maybe better.
So yeah, I mean, another map improvements, summer balancing changes, improvements. I mean, some of these are just
what does that mean, right?
I know some of these are just this is kind of the frustrating part for me, because each of these patches is they call out specific map and say optimization and fixes, right? And it's well, what was all of that stuff in the previous patches where you listed general bug fixes and optimists? What? Where is that all? I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating from a perspective where this feels very unprofessional for a live service game, where it's towards the end, it's now we're going to actually do all the stuff. You know what I mean? It's when you play these other live service games, you get ongoing, real tangible improvements. I mean, they take time, but eventually you get them. Whereas I don't know if we ever really got anything. I can't think of a single one. Maybe streets and RAM related stuff, or maybe they allowed a tech box to force your graphics to low for streets. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, someone in chat, Mark, wrote, the roadmap kind of reads when you don't have enough to write about for your homework, so you just repeat stuff.
I'm saying that's how it looks. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. The only one that's interesting in there really is the audio one, obstacle processing algorithm improvements for better audio, because we saw the video of that with the person walking around and they've got all the lines and stuff. It looks like some kind of basic version of the ray tracing thing. Have you got a clip or something?
I must not save that one by mistake.
Well, it's the person walking around underneath factory. Yeah, so it's got it walking around underneath factory, and there's just all these lines coming out, and there's just looking at which what's between you and the enemy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll make the audio really wacky. Who knows? You know, who knows at this point? It's very difficult to know.
I'm curious. I'm gonna pull it
Quality of
up.
life stuff's cool, but
What were we gonna say? Go ahead.
yeah, I just said the quality of life stuff's cool, but I think that's the only kind of game changer one in here. Reserve, like, does Reserve run quite well? It's funny, Reserve optimizations. I'm intrigued. Reserve's not one that I feel that people complain about.
I don't know. Picture in picture.
Maybe it is for weaker machines.
This is what I want.
Apparently, it's on their Twitter, supposedly.
Yes, I have it here. Sorry, I was trying to get it in frame better, and it was not cooperating. But
your special custom res for the middle of the middle of the scaffold.
Of course. I mean, I don't know. I'm listening it to in my speakers currently. I mean, I'm not really hearing anything fundamentally different, but I don't.
I guess, yeah, we don't have audio pass through, do we, from that to me? But
no, I mean,
it's more. It's the bottom right hand box to show like how they're kind of processing it. It's like they're doing some kind of like some sort of race style system to understand, you know, where the players are relative to each other and what's in the way. Sometimes the lines go like freaking crazy. Like that.
Yeah.
Which
I
makes
wonder
me concerned a bit.
I wonder if they're using the nav meshing for like AI to as a means to, but I don't know. There's a lot of lines going on, so they're probably not. At least not fully at the bare minimum. Definitely some stuff going on. Anyways, I think my favorite quote from this segment was Nikita saying, "And hopefully it won't decrease FPS," which I mean, that's just like copium to the maximum. You say that to cover your bases, because I feel like it's going to decrease FPS. Maybe not significant. I think a better way of saying that, hopefully it doesn't decrease FPS by too much, is probably what he actually meant. That's my translation, unofficial translation.
Yeah. So we move on to 16.8. Shoreline optimization, ground zero optimization, more cumulative fixes, which is very nebulous. Third person gunshot sounds rework, that sounds like another video in the making. And an in-game event with the cult symbol. And then it says, you know, Tarkov community feedback based on what's there at the time. It's too far ahead to know. Like the other big fixes that have already gone in. So it's going to be dependent upon what comes after once these things are these things are done. So yeah, some big in-game event supposedly is coming around this time. He called it a big lore event, I believe. Is what he said. And then yeah, Shoreline and Ground Zero get optimized. I mean, Ground Zero for me runs like a dream. The map's quite small and it runs super well. It runs at like one of the highest frame rates. So hopefully they don't make it lower with their optimization.
I mean, they can make it run better. I guess that's great, you know. But we'll see. I'm very curious. We'll I really, come May, you know, I want to hear firsthand, maybe even experience firsthand. You know, is there like a tangible? Actually, yeah, Clem, get on it. Start benchmarking now. I want to see as soon as this patch drop. I want to see real world, offline only. Anyways, I'll stop yapping about.
Yeah, exactly. And then 16.9 August, interchange optimization and expansion. An expansion to interchange. Who knows what that even means? What does that even mean for interchange? Because interchange is the mall and some area around it.
Yeah.
So do they maybe they change the mall a little bit, or maybe they just add some extra stuff so it blends more into streets, or you know, I don't know really. It's a bit hard to tell. But the funny thing about all of these is that they go interchange optimization, Shoreline, Ground Zero, Reserve, Lighthouse, and they're doing customs fixes as well. Factory and Labs aren't mentioned on there because they're high FPS anyway. So what's the one map that's missing? It's Streets of Tarkov. And as per Nikita's tongue-in-cheek comment on the cast, he said, yeah, Streets of Tarkov is unfixable. It's unoptimizable. And he was like, looked like he was joking, but actually isn't joking.
Yeah.
Because like they actually just can't do anything about it. I thought that they might mention something to do with the split, the time freeze thing that they were talking about, but they didn't say anything about whether they were going to do either of those things. or any other ideas. I don't know. It's just strange that they have got all of the other maps except the one map that needs the work on it, on the map, or roadmap. It's very weird. You know,
They can't get
Streets
away
is the
with
one
that
map that needs to be better. Yeah, that's the one. Who cares about the others? Like Reserve, Shoreline, like who cares? It's Ground Zero, Interchange. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
the Streets is
I
the one that
mean,
needs the work.
yeah,
It
by
needs to fix
far.
customs as well, but
Yeah.
GIF.
I mean, customs was like pretty fine until they decided to expand it, which I mean was cool, but like my precious frames, like the amount of like budget they have to like lower my frames for like content is just like ever decreasing for me. What does it mention? I notice. Am I crazy?
True, Woods isn't mentioned. No, you're right.
Is that you think
Woods
that's
isn't mentioned either.
intentional?
I don't know actually. Maybe they just can't optimize woods because it's just trees.
It is a
and
big
stuff.
map.
I don't think there's anything. It is big, but I don't think there's. It's not a complex map, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that map doesn't really. I do get like a little bit of degradation on that map, like because of I don't know if it's like the intensity of everything rendering, tree wise. There's just like a lot of like you can get some really long sight lines, right? There's like a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah, really long sightlines plus AI is usually what does it.
And you
For
can't
most
like
of these maps, like
cull that stuff. Like you, at best, you could cull like
really.
kind of half the map, depending on. I mean, you could maybe do something very advanced, but that's gotta be a lot of work. Like if you're like in a valley, then maybe your frames goes up by like 100 because everything gets culled around here.
Well, this was the issue with Lighthouse because it's very difficult to cull the stuff on Lighthouse too.
Yeah.
That was half the problem. You know, you stood on top of the huge sniper
Right.
rock or whatever. You could see everything all the way out to the road camp and everything else. So it was crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, Woods is simpler than Lighthouse. It doesn't have a huge road camp with all rogues wandering about and AI on it and stuff. So it is easier. So I don't know. Maybe they feel like it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Or they've run out of time, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Is the lowest priority. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then another large-scale in-game event, and then at some undetermined point release this year.
So I mean, to put give credit where credit's due. Q2, Nikita did stay true to whatever that meant when he put that tweet out. He delivered something on Q2. So yeah, we got a preliminary plan for updates in 2025. I think the other interesting thing at the very bottom of this little graphic, there's a, not tiny, but there's a little text box or a little text that says an updated iteration of the roadmap we published in June 2025. So we might have a more detailed picture of things to expect. Probably, hopefully they have some stuff from the Tarkov community, more quality life stuff. Because the quality life stuff, it it sucks that it came 8 years down the road, but we did get, Quest Auto. Well, we're about to get Quest Auto restarting when you fail them, and I'm sure there won't be any associated bugs. It's too
auto purchasing currency.
It is, yeah.
It's good that we got it.
It is so
better late than never.
It is so easy to just like slam dunk on me. It's like there's almost no sport in it, It's like, it's kind of a shameless, or shameful thing. I'm sorry, but I'm just kind of on one with today.
Well, that's fine. But anyway, so the June 2025 roadmap thing makes sense because of Nikita's Q2 thing, saying in Q2 you will find out the actual date of release. We will tell you before Q2 is over the actual date. So we should know before the end of June 2025 when the date is. So that's probably when we see the updated roadmap. But as I said, it's 18th of April, so we only have May really, and 1.5 more weeks in April. So it's like 5 weeks, and then we'll be into June and couple of weeks, and that'll be it. We'll have it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So there was other stuff. There's stuff that's not on the roadmap that's coming as well. Seen a couple of new things. First one, what's it called? The Marlin. I'm not familiar with my old school weapons, but Marlin 18 something. It's basically the lever action weapon.
Yep.
Marlin 1895. That's it. So Marlin Firearms model the 1895 lever action, which is coming. That looks kind of cool. I was joking. They look like look like Hunt Showdown, but that one's coming.
Yeah.
They're also adding we actually saw the. Do you want which order do you want to do this in? Have you got them like to hand? You've got the clips, so I can leave
I
it
only
up to you.
got a
Have you got the
few.
AK-50 one to hand?
No. We can pull it from
So they've
the Twitters.
they've just got it up on the Twitter. Yeah, so they've added. Well, they're going to add the AK-50. I mean, it's going to be just a joke gun, I guess. It's not going to be prevalent. I bloody hope. Or it'll be a very special thing you can only get in certain super specific places. This thing's going to fire 50 BMG out of an AK on semi-auto, so that would ruin the game if it was made accessible or whatever. So yeah, that's the other gun. Did we see any other guns? He did make me squeal slightly during the during the cast, because apparently the AN-94 is planned. I was like, because this is the first time he said that. In the past, he said, no, it's too specific, and there weren't enough made. And then he added all sorts of other random guns, which just are like, insane from that definition. And now he said, no, it is planned, apparently. So that's good. Yeah, they showed off like all the new AK animations, which is just like, I mean, it's so BSG.
Yeah.
It's so BSG.
Yeah.
Like, the animations are probably already some of the best in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, we've redone them all again, including all of the stoppages, because we just want it.
Yeah.
We want to make them perfect.
I mean,
like the single hand loading of one cartridge into the chamber, like, that never happens. It's just, how often does that actually happen in the game? It's people only do it by accident.
It's
a love letter to guns, though.
Exactly. I mean, they're like gun nerds, if you will, and if you yourself are like a gun nerd, this stuff, is like the stuff for you. So I guess there's that.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day though when I was playing, and just going like, it is satisfying to Tarkov sounds and the way that the guns feel and stuff. It is satisfying. Check the magazine. Everything feels just, it's so, I don't know, so visceral. Like you can taste it. It is immersive, the way that the weapons feel and sort of handled by the player and stuff. They made some changes to the AK's modding, so they've kind of done what they do with M4E, AR-15E type platform stuff at the moment, where we've got like the split handguard thing. There's like the gas tube it's slightly more modular. For what purpose, I don't really know. It doesn't really seem to do anything. Lots of people during the cast are complaining about the expansion of the loot pools, because now there's going to be like 6 different types of like base gas block stuff, and then like more covers, more like under. It's just going to find even more junk when you're like searching a weapons crate or whatever. But that's going to change AK modding a little bit. Probably won't actually have any real impact, but it just breaks them down and slightly further. And then a bunch of new M4 animations as well, which looked about the same as the old ones to my novice eye.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little. I felt like there was a bit more camera movement, and a little bit more exaggeration. I guess in some bits, not so much. I guess it depends, though. I don't know. I mean, when's the last time you inspected your gun outside of a jam?
I do it sometimes because people ask like, oh, what are you running or whatever, and like, I like free look down and inspect the gun and show people while I'm running around the map. Like that happens like relatively often actually on stream, but I don't think any normal player would. It's only if you're live, and people are asking about your build.
Yeah.
Whatever you go, oh, like this gun looks super sick.
An immersion gamer, like.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice if once the camos come over though, because you'll be like, yeah, look at this sick camo, guys. Like, that'd be kind of neat. I'm actually more excited about the camos than I thought I was going to be beforehand. Before I was just like, I literally couldn't care less. But like now that I've seen them on the guns and stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, it'd be kind of nice to have like your style, I actually kind of need to have that.
Yeah.
In some ways, like, oh, I've like done this gun in like my way or whatever. It's kind of cool. Okay, so what other stuff was there?
Well, I just want to jump back to the AK modding. You said that there probably won't be too much change going on. However, need I remind you, okay, because they're splitting the handguard top and bottom receiver. This is BSG we're talking about after all. So like oversight is, and there's a lot of weapon parts. So we may get some funky weapon builds in the future with AKs. Maybe not. Here's me huffing my own supply of copium, but who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be the Torrey Pines thermal scope is going to be attached to the gas block lower piece because they forgot to take the other bit off. You're going to have 3 sights embedded in it. It's going to be a flashlight pointing vertically up out of the weapon. My favorite one recently of that was talking about connections up north. I don't know whether you've encountered this quest. But various people in my Discord and on chat have been doing it because it's the one that you do to unlock the Sacco sniper rifle, the new one.
Oh, okay.
And you basically have to get 50 PMC kills. I'm not even sure which quest it comes after. If you get 50 PMC kills with bolties, with night scopes or thermal optics. 50 with bolties, with those 2 specific types of scopes. It sounds crazy. Basically, people are just going in as duos, vibing, like chilling out. It takes them like a month to do. Like, it takes a really long time to go get this done. But the best example of this, the Tarkov ridiculous circular, someone always finds a way around it mod, was that the AXMC is the only bolt action that you can use an iron sight on that then also takes the M4 carry handle. Because the M4 carry handle then fits on the rear iron sight, you can then put an ACOG on the top, but you can put a Torrey Pines on the inside middle because it's somehow connected to the way the Piccadilly rail works or something on the other ones or something like that. And then it counts. So you can just have the Torrey Pines in there because there's no cantids on any bolties. So that's the only way. So you could put the Torrey Pines in the middle and then use a normal ACOG and then shoot people with it. And if you've got APM, you could just one-shot people with it with just like a regular ACOG one. So I love that. That was like proper just like circumvent the mechanics using some really niche behavior. I was like, man, I appreciate that. I respect that.
It's been like that for a while for some reason. It just like the carry handles just doesn't block sights on there. So you can just like put a PKO inside. And then when you try to ADS, you just can't see it. But if you obviously, have a scope up top, then it'll work. But yeah, that's been there. But that's great. I love that. What else?
What's next in the clips?
We got so this is new. I didn't see this during the cast. I just missed this portion. Some new
These are the new rigs,
I guess. Yeah, backpack? Question mark.
The big box.
Yeah, it's like an ammo box as a backpack. What's like a backpack?
It's called the BD. I'm not familiar with this thing. The BD backpack.
It looks like a bunch of harnesses in a backpack style, and then strapped on is an ammo case, and you have some various like cabling and wiring and such attached to the backpack as well. Utility. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I assume that's like a a more utility backpack and not for like carrying a bunch of loot, but I don't heckin' know. Then we got more clothing, like digital type camo, kind of like a deserty one, and one like a more flora-esque one. I don't know, probably like butchering these names, but guess what? I don't heckin' care. Then we got tank, work in progress. Now, I thought this was interesting. Maybe this is just because it's work in progress, but I'm pretty sure it's like that's just straight up a bare face there. Like that's one of the newer ones they had, which maybe that's just a placeholder. I don't know, but I just thought that was
I'm not sure
something. But yeah, it looks like it honestly it's he's kind of got like the bear clothing too. The upper, what's that called? Like it's not Zoloft.
Well,
that's a
Telnick or something like.
Yeah, Telnick. Yeah, he's kind of like the striped, blue and white. It looks kind of like that, but except it's like dark red and light blue, and he's got like bandages wrapped around, a little rig. I think that's just a regular standard scav rig. I forget what it's called. But yeah, just a dude with like a tank top and camo pants. Cool, man. I'm so fucking excited. No, probably
What
a new
else
boss. We got more prestige awards. We got Gucci Gamma container.
Oh yeah,
this looks like a
the
big
Louis
easy.
Vuitton Gamma is like insane, like actually insane.
This is like a big easy meme shit post. It looks
it's called Louis Pillon.
Very good. There's
so good.
Also dog tags for like different prestige levels, 3, 4, 5. Look kind of cool. Got some hideout furnishing / wallpaper, wooden like mod. It's like a modern esque architecture, wood and like concrete or something. I don't even know. And finally getting to some more juicier stuff, I believe. Terminal stuff. So the first one we got is let me put that back in regular size. Is like kind of a slideshow, slow moving camera, a few different angles. This all looks fairly new. Some of these, though, however, do look from previous screenshots that they've shown. But now we get some footage. I mean, it looks very vibey. Like the vibes here are looking all right. It's kind of night. Well, I mean, it is nighttime. You got atmospheric lighting, kind of like a harbor, ports, and then shipping containers everywhere, and looks cool.
It does look cool. What it means, who knows? Because they've got 2 pictures above as well of the screenshots from the cutscenes that will play in the story mission terminal work in progress. So there's some people on some kind of like
This is I missed this part of the cast. So these are straight up from the cutscene, yeah.
Apparently so, yeah. So it says mission terminal work in progress, and these are 2. They couldn't show much else, but these are 2 from the actual cutscene. So there's like 2 guys in the. One guy looks like an officer, someone else wearing the sombrero in like some sort of sandbag bunker thing, and then a couple of dudes in the actual terminal itself. Looks like someone's hands kind of coming in from the side and I don't know, pushing away someone's gun or like grabbing someone's gun or something like that.
Something, yeah, maybe patting him on the shoulder, or giving him
maybe
a loving embrace. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they've got grenade launchers and stuff. What's the what's the guy's armband got on it? Are these guys
on which side?
Are these guys like the Black Division ones?
Left or
on
right?
On the left-hand side.
I don't know, but you say that the one in the middle, the character in the middle, you can see his armband on the left, I believe.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like something.
Enhance.
Yeah.
Zooming in. I mean, yeah, it looks like it looks like the old. Yeah, because they always said it's that shark kind of thing, Black Division, and the guy on the left, the armbands. It looks like it says BC. There's some people in the background too. There's another 2 people like by the sandbags on the left. There's actually quite a lot of people. There's like 2 guys with sandbags by the left, by the red. There's a guy by the stop sign. There's someone else stood by the building right in the background behind the van, just kind of at ease against the buildings. I think this place is pretty populated.
It's got to be something else.
As Nikita said,
I was just thinking BC something. Can't be like Black Division. Big Chungus? Something?
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Nikita said, look, we're going to be able to leave. So this is where we're going to escape at some point.
Oh, no, never mind. It's definitely BC. I thought maybe it'd be BE. But no, it's definitely C. Because I was like, BE, that's got to be bear, right? What else could that be? But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't actually know. I don't know. So, yeah, that's the sort of one of the final places. I think Nikita said in the past there was going to be a few ways to leave, but I guess that's probably going to be the main way. Food terminal, and then maybe you leave on the big hovercraft boat. I don't know. You saw the hovercraft boat before.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, you know,
I thought that was a submarine. Thing. No way.
Well, we've seen it before. It was this hovercrafty boat type thing.
Really? Where'd it go?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called though. It's like this 3-engine, like bizarre hovercraft, like landing craft type thing.
Okay.
So maybe you escape through that. Who knows? Maybe you can only escape once you've reached the 10th prestige.
Oh my God. Salute to all of those who do such a dubious task. Let's clear some of my stuff here. So
I'm just trying to see, was there anything else that I'd listed down in the thing?
Yeah.
There was one little bit for the game mode that I play in Arena, right? It's Checkpoint. They're adding a map called Resort, which would be quite nice. There's only 3 maps you can play on Checkpoint right now.
Resort? That sounds familiar.
It does indeed. So we'll see. That could be kind of cool.
Did they
And they're adding like
say
weapon tasks for arena. They didn't say anything about it. They just said it's called Resort, and then they
okay?
and they're adding weapon specific tasks in arena too. I don't know whether that's dailies they're adding that to the pool or whether they're separate. I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. But yeah, ranked rework, seasons, the Molotov, match history, and viewing of profiles is coming. That's the arena stuff. So things that we kind of knew we were getting at some point, but we will see. I mean, combined with the battle pass, I don't mind. It's kind of fun. I quite like working on the battle pass. It's actually quite entertaining. As long as I can do it in Last Hero and Checkpoint. I don't want to play the other modes. I don't mind Last Hero and Checkpoint. They're actually entertaining. I'm actually enjoying Checkpoint more and more the more I play it. Actually, like Last Hero is like by far my favorite, but the more I play Checkpoint, it's kind of catching up actually. Without, it's like not necessarily quite as like just your face being cheese grated off for 10 minutes, you know? It's like it's slightly more strategic. Last Hero is not strategic at all, really. It's just like it's all tactical, whereas there's some strategy in Checkpoint, deciding on which point to go to, and like when to hold, when to run, when to move, where to where to be and where to position yourself. So, but some of the maps are just awful. So, like I was saying during the cast, right, Dominica loaded into Fort on Checkpoint. I mean, I think they had all maps checked, which is just like rookie mistake, where you always have to uncheck Fort. And fortunately / unfortunately, but probably fortunately for our purposes, he ended up on the low ground team, which if the teams are like remotely even, you just get absolutely hosed on that side, because you can just get pinned in your spawn. Like the enemy team can come way too far forward before the mines kick in, and you just get completely destroyed. And yeah, they lost all the points. They were actually doing okay at the beginning, and then they lost all the points, got pinned in spawn, and after like 3 minutes of playing, Dominica just like gave up and just turned it off. It was quite funny. I was just like, man, what a game mode to appear on like the Tarkov TV. It's like possibly like the worst combination. I just don't play Fort anymore. I either play Bay 5 or Bowl, and I typically just play Bay 5 because Bowl can be annoying as well in some ways, especially with uncoordinated teams. But Bay 5 is at least pretty good. So yeah, I mean that's kind of it, you know. That's kind of it, right? Like, what else? What else is there?
Well, I wanted to jump back to the roadmap and ask your opinion. I mean, which we kind of alluded to a little bit, but is there gonna be a wipe? I mean, lots of people in the chat. Which, by the way, I saw so many people typing in delete PvE, which I don't know if that's like a meme, but there was just like straight up PvE, you know, like cheerleading team, like, you know, like sports rivalries going on, like, yeah, go PvE, heck you PvPers, we hate your guts. Like, it was just really like, what is wrong with the community? It was like on a very toxic level. Like, I don't really understand why people like, is there some actual, is there like a group of people who like genuinely believe that PvE is taking away from the game because that means no PvE players, or like content isn't being produced? Like BSG's trying to have a split their time. Like I'm trying to see if there's any actual. I probably shouldn't do this with stuff on the internet, huh?
No, people think like the deranged people think that the PvE being in existence basically just like has pulled tons of players to the game, and the game's dead now, and that it's only sweats that play PvP. Now, there's an element of truth to it.
That's interesting.
You know, it's not entirely wrong. You know,
well, that's
like
even probably, more.
The thing is, so there's probably more people playing the game in general now than there were before, but there's probably less people playing PvP than there were before as well. Because if you think about the situation, right, you've got people on a skill. What's even like a skill chart or something, from the people who are the worst skilled in the game from 0 up to 100 with the people who are the best skilled in the game. So previously, what you would probably end up with happening is the people who are the worst, they probably were just going to leave anyway, right? So it doesn't really, like, they were going to leave no matter what in terms of PvP. And then you've got people who are left wanting to play Tarkov, who don't really want to play PvP, but they would rather play Tarkov on PvP than not play Tarkov at all. And those people were still in the game.
Yeah.
Now that PvE exists, a whole bunch of those people have gone, screw this. I still want to play Tarkov, but I don't want to play it against the sweats.
Right.
And they've moved to PvE, along with some of the people who are on the bottom end of the skill spectrum. And it's not even necessarily skill, right? It's also about just time as
Yeah.
well, right? If you're a
Yeah.
person that doesn't have time to get to level 42 every wipe, like Tarkov's
Right.
kind of a miserable experience,
And who
to
has
be honest. So you
time to
don't actually end up.
go do the delivery from the past 5 times over when you could have
and never to
arguably an
actually
eager
progress.
experience on a
Yeah,
more
you
consistent experience at the very least.
Yeah. If you're a busy person and Tarkov is just something you do on the side every now and then with a few mates or even just on your
Right.
own, you could experience the whole game from start to finish, but over like 2 years. You could be playing the game for ages,
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
you know? And I think this is the thing. Like, people also still say now, like, oh, surely everyone's bored of PvE by now. But I think people underestimate that in a 6-month period, like the majority of players won't actually even get to level 42.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
without any pressure, the PvE guys, like even after a year, they're probably only just like thereabouts now, like starting to reach the end game.
Yeah,
You know?
you could
There's a lot
easily
of people
like
who, just stretch it out over the whole year. Just play, a couple of hours at the weekend, every
you
weekend or
could
whatever, and it's
like play for a couple months and then take a break and then come back and see that there's a patch. It's like, oh, you know what? I'll play some Tarkov, and now you're picked up where you left off in PvE.
Exactly. So this is the thing. So there is some truth to it, right? PvP is probably harder now with PvE out and existing, but there are also now more people playing Tarkov overall, in my opinion. I think those two things are very likely. So the Tarkov community is bigger, but
Yeah.
there's probably less people playing PvP, right? And it's typically the people at the bottom end of the spectrum who don't have the time, don't have the skill, don't have the inclination, want it to be more chilled, et cetera, et cetera. And those are the people that will have fallen off, right? The people who are more sweaty and more hardcore are more likely to stay on PvP in the first place. So there's a very strong survivorship bias towards people who are better at the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so PvP is probably harder now than it was. So I think that's one of the things. People think that PvE has kind of killed the game because servers are quieter, or like there's just less people playing, which is probably not wrong. But again, like how many people actually were you going to continue bringing in? You're going to bring in the people who really don't want to don't want to stop playing Tarkov because it's their favorite game, but they're actually kind of miserable playing PvP. Those are the only people that you're retaining by not having PvE out there. So yeah,
I
don't know. It is what it is.
How does Arena fit into this? Like, or does it even? Is it just outside the context of this?
I think Arena actually has made the problem worse, if anything, because again, Arena probably caters more to the hardcore player base,
right?
Because people who are more hardcore probably more likely to own EOD, and therefore they got Arena for free or unheard. So people on standard had to buy Arena separately. So a lot of people on standard don't have Arena. So it means that the people who are more hardcore actually got more experience. So if you're playing Arena regularly, you're just going to be better at fights than people who aren't. And so again, it's another time thing. Like if you just play the base game, you don't play Arena, you get into a fight with somebody who plays, a couple of rounds of Last Hero a day or whatever, because that's only half an hour. Chances are you're probably going to lose because it just rapidly increases people's gun skills. It really does. Like it's certainly helped me. I can
literal,
feel it.
Or what type of gun skills are we talking here?
So it doesn't help you with any
gun
of your
skills, or
yeah. What do you mean? Like of course. Like
okay.
your Tarkov fighting skills at close range. It doesn't help with long range at all. It doesn't help with
like RPG
positioning and stuff. But...
RPG systems, or are you talking like?
Oh, sorry. No, I mean that you as a person.
Okay, gotcha.
Like it helps a bit with skills. There's some stuff like the XP is meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And it still is meaningful, and some of the rewards you get is meaningful. Ref is meaningful, but like as always with this stuff, right? The most impactful thing, and the only thing you can take from one wipe to another, is like your own personal skills, like how you as an actual human being, right? It's the only thing that you take from one wipe to another. So it's actually almost the only valuable thing really to grind for is like you being better at the game. So it really helps you in specific ways. It doesn't help you with every single part. I lose a million gunfights because I didn't even see the guy and he shot me in the head because he just like sat in a corner, or I like ran into a building and he heard me and jumped out from behind a door and shot me, right? It's just like the gunfights are much fairer in Arena because everyone hears each other because you're all running around. Especially Last Hero and Checkpoint. So it doesn't help in those situations. But when you get into a pitched battle the muscle memory kicks in and really helps. Like I cleaned up 4 people on ground zero the other day with a mutant, which like that never happens. And it was like 2 duos like pincered me in this bit, and I was just like kill one and reload, like duck behind the wall and all this stuff. Like it's just once you've done it in Last Hero, like I don't even know, like 500 times or something. It's just crazy. Like we kind of worked it out based on just number of engagements that you end up in, and it's like 50 times the number. You play one 10-minute game of Last Hero, you can get people get stupid numbers, but usually I get somewhere around 30, 40 kills, something like that, which is crazy. And it's like 10 minutes is like 50 times that in Tarkov game terms, which is about 8 hours. So a 10-minute Last Hero game, you get more fights than you do in 8 hours of Tarkov, which for me is like most of a week streaming. It's like 3 streams or something.
That makes it even more
it's absurd.
Difficult.
So that, going all the way back, and that makes it even more difficult for players to turn up, because it's like Tarkov is a bit weird anyway as a game, right? It always has been. It's better now that the recoil system's fixed. But if you're an inexperienced player, it's quite hard to make the gunfights work and understand the guns and all this stuff. As I said, it's better than it was. But there's a bunch of people who are like really experienced at the game. Right. And they're really experienced at gunfighting in the game systems, because they have access to this like special training tool too. So it's like the arena's actually probably made it worse, arguably.
So I see. So because I was thinking in my head, you're saying like on one side of the spectrum you got PvE, and you have your more casual players, your players who don't want to deal with very the inconsistencies of playing multiplayer gaming. Let's just say, to kind of like wrap that up nicely. And then you had the PvP side of Tarkov, which, as you're saying, because the more casual, whatever, etc. gamers have kind of departed, then you have a more larger group of more hardcore, sweaty gamer, right? So the competition is like, I guess it's like the surrounding competition is kind of like the floor has increased, The ceiling stayed the same, but the floor has increased, so it's a lot more competitive. But then I was like, well, then what is Arena? What's the purpose of Arena? Because I almost felt, it's like Arena is where you would go if you're like that type of gamer, right? Because it's like the more esport. This is like where you're really testing your skills. But I guess the way I'm kind of putting this together, it's like it's more of even though that the fact that if you're playing Tarkov or Arena, you can't be playing both at the same time, right? But if you're playing either or, you're getting something of value, whether it's in-game or not in-game, that contributes to one or the other, And in the case of Arena, you're getting a lot of value in terms of like game mechanics, and like you just get into like 8 times, 10 times more firefights or something. Like the math on that's got to be maybe even higher, like 20, depending on what you play.
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was. I thought Last Hero Chop Shop specifically, which is like the most, that's the most like crack cocaine version of Arena. Yeah. That is like 50x.
It's got to be, right?
When I worked it out.
Like when you take out the average Tarkov raid, even if you try to do like apple to apples, like Factory and Chop Shop, like I'd still feel like your numbers got to be pretty close.
Yeah.
So
like Chop Shop, let's just put it this way, right? Chop Shop is 10 minutes, and I often get, I usually come top 3 in Chop Shop, and there's 6 players. So, but I usually get about 40 kills, something like that. And you can play 6. They're 10 minutes long, so you can play 6 an hour. So it's 240 kills an hour. I think about an average Tarkov raid, right? Like it's just the numbers are just like they're crazy. I mean, it could even be more, right? If you in an hour you play 2 raids and you get 2 kills, that's already in each one, and each one is half an hour. That's already 60 times the number of fights in it.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
It's a specific kind of fight.
You would have to wipe the factory lobby and extract in 10 minutes. But even then, that's still not going to get you close enough.
Like even queuing into a map, like literally queuing into the game in Escape from Tarkov, you can almost play a full Last Hero game. From the time it takes you to actually get into the match.
In Last Hero,
well, it depends actually. They're usually pretty quick for me. When I play, it's normally pretty fast.
We're talking like 2 minutes. Okay, that's about like what Factory queue time, probably about the same, 2 minutes. So yeah.
And you'd have to gear up, so...
Yeah, there's a huge disparity there. And so, and because the progression is linked, if presumably there's going to be a portion of those players who also play Tarkov, not just Arena. So is the deck is really stacked in PvP, I guess, is like the takeaway here.
Yeah. So new people, yeah, for new people, it's just like really hard. But anyway, that's why people want to move over to PvE anyway.
Yeah.
So this all came from the PvE haters conversation, right?
But where are you if
But
you
yeah.
are like a purist Tarkov, extraction gamer? Like, I love the concept of PvE and never knowing what's around the corner. Is that a scav? Is that a player scav, etc.? Like, where do you fit into this if you're that person? Because it's like everyone, presumably everyone and their mother is like a sweat lord. Like, are you the minority here? Or are you the majority? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? What is now the core audience of Tarkov PvP? Like, what is that?
I think it's just like I almost feel like we've been morphed by the game. Like the Tarkov audience is now just like the Tarkov player base.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost become circular, right? It's like people like, and you see these threads quite often on Reddit where people turn up and they'll be like, "Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get a handle on the game. I've played 200 hours, and yet I'm still getting slammed. And every single person that kills me has like 4,000 hours plus. like, like what the hell is this?" And it's like,
Yeah.
yes, but the other 200-hour people aren't killing you, right? Because they're not as effective at like finding other people and
Survivorship
hunting them down.
bias.
There's a definite bias in
Right.
terms of who kills you, right? But it's just that thing. It's like there's so many people with thousands of hours in this game. So there's people who
Yeah.
are just we're just Tarkov players. We just play the way that Tarkov asks you to play, which is get the stuff it's that sort of like strange Venn diagram between the things that are the best but also the most easily accessible, so that it doesn't take me too long to gear up. It's that kind of thing. It's sort of the Defender 2 M61 crafted out of the hideout / 56A1 in an M4 with a Death Shadow and maybe a Corund instead, depending on how you're feeling that day, and some class like a ULAC or something. Like it's just that's sort of the tug of play. It's just like doing what the game asks of them and going around fighting other people, and no one needs the money because everyone's a millionaire. But
Right.
none of us can stop playing. That's kind of like we've just become part of the machine.
Well, maybe you can't stop playing GigaBeef. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, lots of people do though, right? Lots of people get burnt out and then come back and go and come back, But that's the thing. It's people have played so long now that
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's one of a kind game. You can't. It's just no one's managed to replicate it in the same way. I don't think. No one plays the other extraction shooters for like thousands of hours. I don't think. It's crazy the hold it has on people.
Yeah, I mean, the more I've like come to think about Tarkov and extraction shooters in general, it is just like there is just so much. There's almost like a certain level of what is the psychological term? It's like when you have like a lot of time. It's like cost.
That sounded really bad for a second.
I was like skunk toss fallacy, cost sunk fallacy. You've invested so much like gamer energy, and this isn't like uncommon with modern day gaming. I mean, Apex, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals now, like just so many games are just like very accessible in terms of like monetization, which Tarkov isn't really a part of that, but you can sink a lot of hours into it, and they often have hooks, whether like battle pass systems or daily rewards, whatever, or just like general gameplay is fun. It's like there's a lot to learn, etc. Dota 2, League of Legends, whatever. So you have like all of this like invested into it, and it's like this is just like your main game, and it's like hard to give that up when you've like dedicated a lot of your spare time, free time into like learning and master the game. It's like, I've gotten like decent at the game, after like 1,000 hours. Like, why am I gonna stop playing now? It's and unless something else comes along that's like really tantalizing to pull you away, it's really hard because I mean time is like the most valuable thing we own, and like everyone's trying to grab our attention. But yeah, I mean,
I think it depends on what kind of player you are too, because like I have friends who they play like a bit of everything kind of games, and
yeah,
then there's players like me who are more. I do enjoy doing new stuff, but new stuff is sort of it's fun because it's interesting and you like it's unseen. You've not seen these things
hmm,
before, and it's like it's cool. But I also I do enjoy the process of kind of mastering a thing.
absolutely,
Like some people don't like doing that and going to the the nth level down into the the wells of madness of like full
yeah,
figuring out something to its like full completion. But I think a lot of the people who are left in the Tarkov community that still play now are like that kind of thing, right? It's just like
that's
the
fair.
comfort of being an expert. It's just it's nice, it's nice to
Yeah,
have sort of to be doing it and it's still challenging in its own way, but like the basics, like you understand all of this stuff, right? You know what you need to be doing. You're just playing the game and like doing the stuff the best you can, as opposed to being like, oh, I've never seen this. But there's not that many moments in Tarkov now which are like, oh, I've never seen this before, and this is like, I'm not sure what to do or whatever. It's
but
like,
even then, because of all that, those complexities and that time spent mastering, you never really are like a master because you're like you've been trained so hard to like improve. It's like it always feels like there's more you can improve upon if you're that type of person. I guess that could vary,
yeah,
but I mean because everything's so complex, it's like so easy to make a very small mistake and like reflect upon that and be like, dang, I didn't execute this niche mechanic absolutely perfectly. That probably would have, won me to fight. I didn't fire the gun before the animation. Uh, you know, I waited to fire the gun after animation reloaded when I should have fired before the animation finished reloaded because Tarkov, Tarkov case. I didn't do a perfect execute circle strafe, whatever. It's just like I don't even know. Didn't cancel healing in time, or I made the wrong choice CMSing here. Just like so many
yeah.
different. I didn't bring water. I could have easily just brought water and wouldn't have died there. Just infinite amount of things
Yeah,
like, and
and
it's
you can always get
just the
better at that
nature of
stuff
the
for sure.
beast. It's just so like so many layers to the game.
Mm. Yeah, yep, exactly.
So I mean,
Well,
oh, that. I mean, now that that tangent is completely gone, jumping back to my main point because we got off. I'm sorry, Twitch chat got me earlier when I was looking at it in the BSG stream. What I was going to say is jumping back to that uh, Tarkov TV roadmap.
mhm.
Are we getting a wipe? Because I don't see wipe listed on here, and I see May, June, July, August. Now I'm doing some math here, and I'm not the best at it, but that looks about 9 months out at a bare minimum. And what was the last wipe that we got? Was it
In
in
what sense, like the
January?
date?
Well, yeah, because I remember, I can't remember when. It must have been last year, but we went like, I mean, it must have been like January to August. Like we went a while without a wipe. Or my,
So yes, I mean they're all August now. So the last one was. Wait, have I missed one on my tracker thing? Or did I not? Oh, I missed it off on the tracker. But yeah, the last one was December, and then what's even happened here? Here we go. Yeah, so the last one was in December. The one before that was, I mean, it's been pretty consistent. 20th of August, then 27th of December, 10th of August, 28th of December, and then they did 28th of June in 2022.
okay, so the last
So
couple have been like December,
so
August,
August and
December,
August has
August.
happened. Yeah, that's been the last 2 years.
Okay.
So it's interesting though that EFT patch 16.9 is August 2025. It's not patch 17, right? It's patch
Right.
16.9. So that's not a wipe patch. So it may wipe after that. It might wipe in August. It might wipe in September. I don't know. This is the thing. They might just do a wipe with all of the changes they've done and then release in December. I don't know. I think My gut instinct is that they will release it in December. I think they want to release it this year, but I think they want to give themselves as much time as possible. Also, the winter wipe is normally a bigger wipe than the summer wipe. Like, people are busy in the summer. So I think that a winter wipe probably makes more sense, right? More people are at home, people are around for kind of the Christmas period. I know people are busy with family and this, that, and the other, but like, they're like off work, they're not on holiday, you know. I just feel like this winter makes more sense.
Yeah.
So they could end up doing like 0.17 at the end of August, maybe. Or they might not wipe at all. I mean, who knows? But they could just go all the way through and then release at some point between August and December. I don't know. Because with it being 1.0, we're kind of off-piste, right? There's no reason for them to wipe in December, really. I mean, it could be any time. It could be September or October.
People are going to want to wipe, though. They're going to be crawling for...
By then, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll need it, I think.
So, like, surely with 1.0, whenever that may be, whether it's, like, into August, December... I mean, I guess in theory, there's really nothing stopping them from wiping, but I mean, I guess it might be one of those things where, hey, we're doing a wipe. Usually, you know, since we have to like reset the servers or whatever, it's like this would be a great time to roll out our latest build that's stable, you know. But maybe because they're doing so many updates within like basically month to month, maybe their builds aren't going to be suitable for something like this. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I'm just like grasping for straws here, but I don't know. I mean, to me, it would seem you would do a wipe with the release, and maybe if the stars align, you could do a wipe in between. But I don't know what the community sentiment's going to be and what how or BSG are feeling towards that.
Yeah, it is hard to know. It is very, very hard to know. Yeah, I think we probably do need to. I hope that they do that, and they don't just sort of go straight into it. But
do what?
I hope that they do a regular wipe after. It's just so weird that it's on the roadmap, but maybe they just don't want to give it away. I hope they do a regular wipe after 16.9 in August.
Yeah.
For 17.0, and then give us a bit, and then release it.
Oh, I
like
see
afterwards.
what you're saying.
Like we have like a short wipe, and then boom, release wipe happens. You know, in December or something. That would make the most sense, I think. Like going for a year without a wipe and then doing a wipe for release in December would be weird. But I still don't discount them releasing it in August or something, or like just after in September.
Yeah,
I don't discount that. I think those are the two possible. Those are the most plausible. It's either like August and then December, or just straight up like September release, and it's just a wipe and bam, that's it. But I don't know. It seems like they would give themselves as much time as possible while still being in 2025. So I think that it's probably December. I would guess.
Yeah. I mean, what else has been going on in Tarkov land? Anything exciting in your day-to-day raids?
Well, I'm just putting together a video about the Theta container at the moment. Did we talked about this last week? Did we?
We did. I mean, you mentioned a little bit. There might be a way to obtain it without doing the quest line, because you get arena,
or
no,
like
without purchasing
getting
arena.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, so I'm putting something together on that at the moment, because I actually think it's like definitely doable, and I've spoken to quite a few people in chat who have done it. Actually, you know, they activated their 3-day version of arena and then completed all the quests, and boom, there's not actually that many. It's surprising how few there are to do now, and they're not that difficult. So you could bang them out in a day if you were just free for a day, or a couple of evenings, something along those lines. So yeah, so it's quite interesting actually, because they've changed the. I mean, for people who have arena, it's really easy because there's no time limit. But because they've changed the starter quest to level 3, you've still got to do burning rubber or whatever from skill, like do the get out of the car extract. But once you've done that, level 3, you get easy money. You do the thing. You then bring some food and drink to ref. That gets you easy money part 2. Then you're on to balancing. After that, it's just like kill a couple of players with a packer, plant some stuff. It's really not that bad. Like you could have theta really, really early. I think it could replace the epsilon case for almost everyone. Actually, even people who are like definitely for standard account players, it's gonna be way easier to do theta than it is to get if you have arena. This is, but like even without, right, if you do the push it through quick method, you could get it in that 3 days. And I reckon it's easier to get than epsilon, honestly. So the Punisher quest line is kind of dead. But even for people who have a gamma, you get 1 extra space, and it's quite a nice layout. One of the issues before with theta was that it was 2x2 and then 1x2, 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 which really sucks. You couldn't put any 3x1 items in there. It was really awful. Now it's epsilon plus another 1x2, so it's 1 slot more than the gamma, and it's actually quite nice. I've been using it, so I got it this week.
Oh, did you?
And yeah, so I went through and did the rest of it, and I was like, okay, I actually did all the arena stuff first because I'm doing the battle pass anyway, and so and then I would just have to go through and do the other quest lines in the base game, the new ones, and got it, which is kind of interesting. And the other, actually, I'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, no, I genuinely think that it could be get then. I mean, what even is there a level requirement on Punisher 6? Let me see. I don't think there's any level requirement on this other one. You just have to complete a bunch of stuff in arena. Yeah, you have to be level 21. Like you could have theta way earlier, and like it's strictly a better case. It's an epsilon plus another 2 slots.
Yeah, I guess because there isn't anything but container acceptable that's like specific to the gamma's 3x3 sizing, right? We can like
yeah.
There just isn't like anything you could fit into a gamma, you could fit into a theta and more, because the epsilon you like lose out on a slot, and like there is to be fair a slight argument for epsilon over gamma, because some people like to bring that in to like reserve, so in the event they find a tank battery, they put that in their butt. Or if you're shoreline training, some people have done that before, put the battery in the butt and run around and die.
Yeah, so there's the only item that I'm aware of that you could technically fit into the gamma that you can't fit into anything else is the air filter.
Right.
I think that's the only one. Yeah. Because that's 3x3.
Unless stonks go up for that.
Yeah, but it's not, honestly, it's nice. Like I've really enjoyed having the extra space. It's like it's good. It's really, really nice. Really nice having that 1 extra slot. I've actually just put another slot in there because I'm using 7.62 M61 a lot, as you might imagine, because it's just crazy OP.
M61? So isn't that like the best round in the game? How did you get a hold of that, Giga?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's just craftable in the workbench or anything like that. But so I've got because it's only 40 per stack, so it's actually not that much. But I've now got 3 stacks of ammo now rather than 2, which is certainly helping, which is good. Instantly. I tried. So I've done like a few bits. I ended up doing, so did the Theta Cadena. Then I was like, right, we need to finish off doing Lightkeeper. And there's a new kind of shortcut through the labyrinth until, I don't know, probably 3 days time when the event ends. I've given up on labyrinth, right? It's like you either just cheese it, 5-man it, run around looking for folders as a 5-man, which is just incredibly boring. Or you go in as a solo and like die 95% of raids, which is also incredibly boring. So the event's really good, but it's fundamentally flawed. It's like it's too hard for solos, even for experienced players. You have to be like really, really god tier to actually ever win in there. I won once, right? Otherwise, you end up just cheesing it as a 5-man, and I'm not interested in doing that. Yeah. Like I don't do stuff anymore in this game just for the purposes of doing it. I do the things because they're interesting, and I've lost interest in it simply because of that. So like I'm not interested in just like cheesing it with a 5-man to go and get some achievement stamp on my account. I just don't care. So I kind of stopped with that. So yeah, the event's great, but it's a shame that it's sort of geared in that way. Like the things it makes the player do are like really odd, and the entry through Shoreline is really toxic. So so I kind of gave up on that. But I was like, okay, because someone was saying like, oh, maybe you could do the Lightkeeper pathway, but you have to do all of the quests in Labyrinth to get this like shortened Lightkeeper route. So I was like, well, I'm actually halfway there anyway. Like I've done so many of the point, I may as well just carry on. And the thing is, when you do the labyrinth quest, and people have told me this, when you do the labyrinth quests, you get inserted into the Lightkeeper quest like right near the end. So you get, I think it's Key to the Tower, and it basically gives you the dongle to go and like run to the thing and test it. And then you leave the raid, and then he says, "Oh, it didn't work. Why? Oh, it didn't work. You need to encode this V3 flash drive," and then he just gives it to you. So you don't have to do, it's like the obnoxious search through for 20 spawn points, all of them in water treatment, right? The one that just usually drives me insane.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder. So because it's automatically giving it to you for this labyrinth quest line, I was like, I wonder if it automatically gives it to you no matter what. And I was like, what are the chances that BSG have coded it in such a way that it's only for the labyrinth quest line? That seems unlikely. So I was like, right, we'll better go and do this. We'll try it at least before the quest finishes. So I went to go and do it because I was really close to that. All I had to do was find the base, which I ended up doing, and then went to go and test it, and then it didn't work. And then I left the raid, and mechanic says, "Oh, it didn't work. Oh, you need to encode it with this V3 flash drive." Hands over the V3 flash drive, and I was like, "Yes, victory!" That's like cut out so much suffering from my life. Oh my god. So now that quest basically done, I have to just go back to Lightkeeper and visit him. So much easier. So I actually now have Peter. I have I have Lightkeeper now after this week, and just shortcutting that one quest because it is awful. And I've also cut ties with the labyrinth. So I'm feeling free. I'm feeling good. I can do whatever. So now I'm just sort of deciding what to do. I might do like a hardcore run or something. I'm not sure. I'm sort of brainstorming what to do next. That's sort of where I'm at.
Have you posted any of the labyrinth related shorts?
They're coming out soon.
Okay. Yeah. I was like,
why? Which one were you thinking of?
I don't know. Both are pretty good. I mean, the one where sort of like Giga breaks a little bit internally when he kills two labyrinth gamers. They're good gatekeepers actually, which is like the worst part, right? I can totally get why that's frustrating. I mean, yeah, I've now that I've seen it firsthand, it's like, yeah, I heard you describe it, but now it's like, yeah, it's like infuriating. You're just trying to like
people just
play the game, like you're just trying to not even the game, like the event. It just sucks that they made the choices that they did, and like players are human beings, and like we're you're in some ways you're like incentivized to do that because that's like you're gonna get like it just makes sense, it's like people are gonna come here, right? It's in the center of the map. It's an event, right? There's like 5 bajillion corners that they can't possibly all clear. Like it just makes sense, it's like but yeah. That was funny.
It's
and
a game design problem, right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game, isn't that what they say? But that one's
I definitely hated the player in that clip.
Trust me, man. I was playing Deadlock the other day, and I was like just so mad at this one hero. It's so annoying and lame. They just, for whatever reason, Valve decided that their alternate fire is like an AoE explosion, and it has no range fall off, so it just does full damage. So they could like throw it from like their tower to your tower, and like if it lands dead center of you, it just does the full gun damage that they do. Whereas like if they're throwing their like or like shooting their shotgun, basically, it's like it has range fall off. I'm like, why Valve and their Infinite Wisdom did that? Yeah, so it's just like playing against that character is so toxic because they just like spam, and it's like an AoE. It's like a grenade, effectively. It's like that's their auto attack. It's just so annoying, and I was getting pretty gamery. I was getting so tilted. I was like, this guy's so freaking annoying. Anyways, that was a fun clip, and then the one where you guys are in the basement, and I don't really know exactly what happened. I don't want to spoil it, but I just know some shenanigans went down in the basement. What stays, what happens in the basement stays in the basement. That's all I gotta say.
Is that the one where the guy forgets his card?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It surely is a good one. Oh man, now they were fun actually doing the 5-man labyrinth, but I was less like I think that's why I kind of lost interest in it, is I think, as I said last week, like it's unfortunate that the system is designed in such a way that some of the best loot in the game can be acquired in a PvE mode, in the PvP game mode. You take 5 people and you just have free roam of the place, right? You're just pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people might die to stuff, yeah, maybe to the AI to get it or whatever. But it's the safest kind of the hard location out of all of them when you go in as a 5-man, and it's easy to gamify. Also, I don't know, just fudge it so that ends up being the situation you're in, which is a shame because once we've done it a couple of times, I was just kind of like, I'm bored, right? I'm like, we figured it out. Like that's the meta. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. Like I'm not necessarily interested. I'm more interested in like figuring stuff out, right? Rather than just like rinsing it a million times. It's like, oh, we figured out how this works, and there you go.
The shoreline efficiency stuff you used to like partake back in the day, where you would be like editing and like all tabbing and like, okay, let me move around, sprint, rub against some barbed wire. Okay, let me go back. I mean, it's like it's not really figuring out the game. That's like, what is the least amount of effort I could put in to get the most, something of a thing, but it's ultimately not satisfying, fulfilling for your game experience.
Exactly. So that's why I've kind of sworn off it for now. But...
yeah, understandable.
Yeah, so I don't know. So it's just we kind of got to the end. I didn't expect it to be so easy actually, and then I didn't expect to just be handed. I sort of half thought it might happen, but I didn't expect to just be like handed the flash drive, and I was just like, oh man, that's really shortcut this process a lot. So I was like, right, what now? What are we going to do now? Like I am still having fun doing the battle pass stuff. Like as I said, I genuinely enjoy playing Checkpoint, and I like unlocking stuff. It's cool. We've not had that in EFT, so I quite like going up through the camos and unlocking them. Like it's pretty fun. And I've really got into Checkpoint actually. Like my favorite build right now, which is like super super obnoxious, and it's so fun. It's definitely not the best build, and it works. It depends actually. I've got quite a few different builds for different situations. And one thing that I quite like about Unranked is that you can kind of change your loadout. Whenever you die, right? Like you could just change your loadout as much as you like in Unranked, and you can go in with a particular kit, and then you can see what other people are doing, and then you can change it to counter what they're doing, which is interesting. So if people are going for like really like, I don't know, you go in with, I don't know, the MP7. And then a bunch of people are using really annoying stuff, like they've gone marksman with APM in like in a 209, and they're just like borderline one-shotting you because they like hit you in the throat and stuff. It's just like it's really really annoying. And so you could be like, oh, okay, I'm going to counter this by going up into I'll play Enforcer instead with class 5 armor and an RPK, and they're just going for body shots, but they're going to just get absorbed by the class 5, and then I'm going to shoot them in the head with PP. So there's kind of like this sort of cycle of like, and then they change their kit, and then you change your kit, and they change your kit.
Is that interesting though?
I actually quite like it. I actually quite enjoy it.
Okay.
Like watching what other people are doing. And in Checkpoint, the one that I've really been finding very, very entertaining is because they changed the limb damage, right? So leg meta is like extra powerful in Arena now. So I've been using the AA12, the new full auto shotty, which because it's open bolt in Tarkov means it cannot jam. So that's 1+ to it already. Put a laser on it, you play as Enforcer, class 5 armor, and then you use the masker with the face shield. Now this is super fun. It's not as this thing has been complained about a lot in the teamfight and blast gang modes because they're so much more structured. You what the teams start in each side, and each round resets. So the terrain, like how far you can get, like where the teams meet, is kind of the same every time, right? Yeah, and then there's some flanking and circling as people die and whatnot. But the game's a lot more like structured. Whereas in Checkpoint and Last Hero, it's just like it's really fluid, right? You spawn all over the place. Checkpoint's a bit more structured, but there's people all over the place. So the masker's not actually as powerful because you can't need to hear. So what I've been doing, and see as well, because you actually just can't see because it's the tiny slit. So what I've been doing is like I'll leave spawn and I'll pull the mask up, and then just like run, and then as we kind of like get to an area, and I'm like expecting, or if I've got people with me, then I'm like pull the mask down, and I'll just like go first, and then I've got this full auto Magnum buckshot like shotgun, and so people come around the corner and it's just like go, just like taking people's legs out, just sweeping out the legs, and no matter what armor they've got, they just die in like 2 hits. It's very very entertaining. No, I've certainly had a lot of fun doing that, and it's not the best. It's definitely not the best kit, but it's certainly the most fun kit that I've used. Just because it's so stupid, and people are trying to like headshot you because that's the way that it always works in arena, and people's bullets are just like bouncing off the face shield, and you're just there like tinnitus ridden, just with this full auto shotty going off with like 20 rounders in it, and you can't jam. It's a good time. It's a good time. I've certainly enjoyed that. It's worked in Last Hero too, actually. But it's certain games it's worked in on Last Hero. But Checkpoint is a lot more powerful because of you can kind of like you get to the point and you're just like, right, we're capping the point now, boys. And you just pull the visor down, just like, right, we're here now. No one's going to decap this. It's good.
I don't know.
So yeah, I've been enjoying that.
I find the whole rock paper scissors simulator gameplay like really annoying. It's like it feels like the same thing you're describing happens in like Overwatch, or like I experienced in Overwatch, where like you at the beginning of the game, no one knows what the enemy team's playing until you see each other, and then let's say we're winning or whatever, and then I'm playing a hero, and then they pick a hero that counters my hero when they die and respawn or whatever, and then now it's like, well, I'm incentivized to do the same. So we end up doing the same, and it like costs nothing to do. It's just like the only cost is like you either need to be dead or in your base. And it's like the way I like analogize it to like imagine like Dota 2 if like you could just change your hero anytime. And it's like I don't know. I personally really like having to like stick to. I guess it's a bit different in like Dota 2 because you have items which like augment your character, so you can like lean into different stuff, But I don't know. I personally just enjoy like that type of play where the choices you make and like the draft, I guess, is like the pregame strategy feels like it's way more meaningful than the whole like rock paper scissors type thing that happens when you can just like you can just change your stuff whenever you want. Like I guess it's nice for convenience, but like I don't know. I just find that frustrating for me. It's just like, well, what's the point in even picking? Feels like my choice doesn't even matter because it's like optimal to change every time.
I hear what you mean. I think in Dota 2 is a bit different because of the draft. And interestingly, I did actually, one of my very early suggestions for Arena was proposing a draft system.
Yeah,
because
I mean, I would like that.
Unless you have a draft, being locked into your choices isn't interesting. You need the ability to pre-game beforehand.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting in Dota 2 is
For
because
sure.
you have that, you have the choice and the ban and the choice and the ban, and you see what they're doing as progressively. You've got a plan, and then but now we need to counter this and that, and there's loads of strategy that goes into it. And it's super awesome. I mean, I don't think it's that deep in Arena, right? Like you can be playing like the worst kit as well, but you're just better with it. It surely could be deeper. It could have been made deeper, but it wasn't. So you can just stick to the same kit. Like I don't think that many people actually swap and change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not changing my kit every other thing. I usually am changing it at most probably 3 times during a game of
It was just like a cool moment where you're like, aha, I'm going to do this based off your strategy.
Or it's just like, or like a load of people are playing Enforcer, and you're like, oh, I'm playing like because you can't. The thing that you can't change, right, is you're allowed up to 3 presets per class. So once you're in a game, you can't change the presets, right? What you've chosen is fixed now within your ranges.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't suddenly go, oh, I'm going to get an LMG if you haven't made an LMG preset, and you're only allowed 3. So there is a limitation there. And so I've kind of got like a range of presets for different things. I guess I've got like I've got the class 5 RPK one, which is like my conventional Enforcer one. I've got the stupid Masker one with the leg meta because it's just really hilarious. And then I've got, a Scout one with an MP7, one with the SR3M, and one with something else. I can't remember now. Some other gun that I use. And then
what's the
third an assault one with an M4 and stuff.
Or Enforcer. You only mentioned RPK and the leg meta.
I haven't bought the slot, so I actually don't have another one. Because it's like 50 GP coins or something. Yeah, so you have to buy this. You only get 1 slot to start with, and then at different levels, you get another slot that unlocks. I think the first one's cash, and then the second one's GPs, I think. But I've never needed more than 2. I don't play Enforcer that much. It's only because I've been doing this stupid build that I've been playing it a bit more. I usually play Scout pretty much exclusively. I think Scout's probably because Scout's the classic Tarkov thing, right? Of like minimal armor and the best rounds.
Yeah.
It's the classics. The Scout gets all of the good bullets. They just removed SP6 from Scout actually because it was kind of absurd because you could get the SR3M and just SP6 people. It was expensive, in terms of like the kit score type thing.
When you say they remove it, is that like was that during the previous patch where they changed like the jamming stuff, or was that post patch? Like after the patch?
This is the one that this is the one that they just did, where they did a whole bunch of stuff at the same. I think it might have actually been one of the technical patches afterwards, actually, where because they fiddled around with a few things. Very interesting. I mean, we didn't actually talk about it, but very interestingly, they did actually change some stuff that I was intrigued about, such as maybe it's not this one. No, it must have been a different one. I don't have it up. But basically, they changed some of the pens, but just for arena, which is a really bit weird because a lot of people were based on the changes, right? So what they did to the classes is they changed Enforcer a lot, and they changed a lot of the guns so you couldn't use a lot of weapons on certain classes. It was a lot more restrictive. So Enforcer is like a lot more unconventional. And one of the things that they did add was all of the LMGs. Well, I guess they were there in the first place. So people were using the PKP or the PKM because you could use LPS. And that was just really strong. So they removed LPS and T46M, but left FMJ, SP, and BT, like the HP BT. But then they upped the pen on all of them, but only in arena, which is weird. It's the first time that we've had this divergence, I think. Unless they are going to do that in the base game too, I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like it.
So they changed. Sorry.
Yeah, so 7.62 by 54R, the bottom end rounds that you're allowed on Enforcer, they actually have more pen now in arena than they do in the base game.
And that was that technical patch you're talking about.
Yeah, this was a patch after the big one, because there was the big one for the Battle Pass, and then there's been another one. Because like every man and his dog was using the PKP with LPS in it, because it just destroys people, right? People were just using a laser and just firing the 100-round mag on the PKP. It was crazy. So now you can only use FMJ, but they bumped FMJ to 37 pen or something from what it was before, and SP and HP. Not that anyone uses those. But yeah, they bumped those, but only in arena, which is strange. So now we've got different. We've got different pass-through, collateral, black limb stuff.
Yeah,
and now we've got different pen stats. It's like starting to fork. So where that ends up, I don't know. I don't know really, but no, I do like it. I do enjoy it. I think once you've got the game modes and the maps down that you like, it's kind of fun. Again, I'm the type of person that likes consistency and likes doing the same thing. So I play Last Hero on Chop Shop, and then I play Bay 5 for Checkpoint, and that's kind of it. I do play some of the other maps sometimes, but not that often. I like just doing the thing I know, and it's just entertaining. I'm focused less on just like, oh, I didn't understand this particular angle. I'm focused more on, I can use the map to its fullest, and I feel like I understand the map completely, and I'm more playing against the people rather than playing against like the map or my map knowledge or whatever. I prefer being in those personally. So it's my more favorite type of gameplay. I hate being at a weird disadvantage just because I don't have enough experience. I think that's how I felt about Labyrinth for a while. Because you hardly get in there. That's why I went offline for a bit to go and experiment with it, because I was just like, I'm not confident in there because I don't know where I'm going. Like, you walk out of spawn and get headshot. It's like, man, that's not fun at all. So like, I need to go and feel a bit more comfortable about it before I go and play again, because it feels pointless going in when you're playing against other people who've been mainlining it for the last 6 days without sleep, and then you step in after 2 raids in there or whatever, and everyone knows all the spawns, they know all the points, exactly which one's next, and they're waiting for you camping the extract. Never mind the fact that you got camped on the way into the first place. So yeah. Yeah. I'd rather just play the people rather than play the map, and like the fact that I'm not playing the game 8 hours every day.
Yep, totally get that.
Yeah.
I guess we can conclude it there, unless you got anything else, Giga.
No, we can do it there. We were going to talk about Marathon this time, weren't we? But Tarkov TV appeared and reared its ugly head, and we decided that we wanted to do a full one about it, which I think is definitely worthy. And we'll do that next time. We'll cover whatever bits and pieces come out over the next week. Which given we've had Tarkov TV, probably not that much, and then we'll cover Marathon, which is going to be interesting, to say the least. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, I think, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in the closed alpha because it's North America only, is my understanding. I guess if you could participate, you wouldn't comment on such a thing because that's my understanding. If you were going to, that is. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm actually not sure.
Okay. And I believe that's going to be happening sometime next week. I think it's Wednesday. And yeah, it would be awesome if I got in because I'm kind of looking forward to something different and fresh, and that could be Marathon in terms of like extraction shooter. Because God, I think I've like tried almost every extraction shooter, and just like I don't know. I think probably like the only other one that's like reasonable and not like gimmicky. Because I feel like all the ones that are like the mobile clones of Tarkov, even like Delta Force to an extent, like I don't know, Delta Force feels very soulless, I guess, and it does all the Tarkov things because Tarkov. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're gonna have a secure container. Oh, we're gonna have a flea market. You know what I mean? Oh, we're gonna have raids that you spawn light into. Like, there's just really no like the most innovation is like, oh, we're gonna put hero shooters in, guys. You love hero shooters, right? That's popular, you know. It's just like, which was like a fun little mechanic, playoff. I was like, oh, this is kind of
and like
cool.
more map stuff, like more dynamic stuff. It's like building on the base.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, look, it's kind of like DMZ, which it's like, I mean, all this is fine, but like, I don't know, it's ultimately the same gameplay. As soon as you get rubles, you buy the best stuff, and now it's like it's so binary. It's like either you win the fight because you have gold ammo and armor, or you lose the fight because you didn't have gold ammo and armor the other guy did. It's like how it ends up feeling at the time, and it's just like flea market simulator. It's so. Anyways, and then you slap on like the monetization model of these types of games. It's just. I mean, what was that other game that people were like raving about a little bit?
Arena Breakout, the one before that.
Yeah. It's like I just can't be me paying rubles for US dollars. Like it just can't be me.
How did Delta Force monetize in the end? I actually don't even know.
It's
Is it
free
cosmetics or
it's free to play, but
yeah, it's free to play.
The most egregious monetization
in Delta Force.
Yeah, I mean, it's free to play, but it's like so you can't buy rubles with money, but what you can buy is like secure containers. Like they sell them for trial periods. So like once
it's like a monthly fee.
Yeah, I mean you can earn, 3-day pass, 7-day pass for various containers by playing the game, which is like okay. There's like a battle pass you can buy, but like the stuff that I find the most like egregious and like disgusting is they have like loot boxes, but it's like skin loot boxes. It is the most basically how it works is like the marketing is like hugely deceptive on this. It's you go to like buy the skin, you click on it, it's like okay, you gotta now exchange the digital currency for a ticket. And you now you're like you it feels like you're buying the thing, but all you're doing is like gambling. But you're guaranteed after you spend like $30 and you've lost that many times, you're guaranteed to get the skin that you actually wanted in the marketing. But there's like all these little things underneath, and if you want like the complete package, like the skin with like the banner that matches it and like the cool looking accessories that all match, it's like you have to get all of those things individually through this gambling. It is it's in my opinion it's like extremely deceptive, extremely gross, because it looks like when you go to buy it you're buying the skin. That's like everything how it looks. It's not until like you really click on the fine details of stuff that you learn this. So yeah, it is free to play, but they are monetizing as many ways as they can. So I don't know, it was a fine game, but ultimately it's just like, yeah, this is just like it's just mid. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's
You were quite
this
enjoying it at
is
one point, I remember.
hmm.
You were quite enjoying it at one point, I remember, the actual game.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun for like as like a novelty thing as much as it could be novel. You know, it's like the hero stuff. It's like, okay, you know, it's kind of cool. Let's play the maps, learn the mechanics, you know, it's kind of cool. But like at the end of the day, it just came down to the classic Tarkov clone S trope where, you know, you just have like open flea market and you just, you know, everything's just like sold for rubles and you just have a lot of money and you always, it's like you do one run, you make $1 million, you buy a geared kit and you're now good to go. I don't know. And then it's got like split lobbies for like easy difficulty. It's just like I just want to play a good extraction shooter that's not Euro because that's just like the core of Tarkov is like if it just like ripped out so much of the jank and like obscure like just all the things that get into the way of you actually playing the game and enjoying it. You know, it's like, why does the AK-74U have to be on single fire when you first load up a raid? There is no there is no reason other than Tarkov. Like there is I'm just sorry, there is no good reason. So yeah, I just want to play like a well-polished extraction shooter that does some new things and I'm hoping that Marathon will be that, but we'll see in the future. So yeah, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get in, I'll play it. I believe you could talk about it. We'll see. I'll have to like read the NDA again, make sure I'm all good on that because you know, apparently Bungie is like really serious about their
Oh,
these
are
types of
they? Are we about
things.
to get cancelled?
No. This is public knowledge. Bungie, don't cancel me, please. Whatever you do, I beg you. But yeah, apparently they take this stuff like data miners too. They like, yeah, they're very serious about these types of things. So
Interesting.
yeah, don't sue me, Bungie,
Well,
please.
we'll talk all about that next time. I've never played any Bungie games really, so was a PlayStation person, so never really
Mm-hmm.
played Halo. Played at friends' houses and stuff, but never had it.
Yeah.
Never had Halo game myself. I don't play Destiny.
Yeah, I
It's,
never really played Destiny either, but apparently a lot of
so
people
we'll see.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, huge game, especially console as well. I knew
Yeah.
people who were kind of console mains who used to play a lot of Destiny.
Yep. Yeah.
So
We'll
yeah,
talk about that next week.
we'll see.
Look forward to that. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.